15 minutes. That's how long it takes your earphones to permanently destroy cells inside your ear that will never grow back. Not at maximum volume, not even close, at a level most earbuds reach without you even trying. You toss them in for a podcast, a playlist, a phone call. You wear them walking, working, falling asleep. The World Health Organization estimates over 1 billion young people are at risk. But hearing loss turns out to be the least frightening thing your earphones are doing to you. 10 years ago, most people used earphones for maybe an hour a day, a commute, a workout. Now wireless earbuds sit in people's ears from the moment they wake up to the moment they fall asleep. Noise-canceling models seal the ear canal completely, blocking every external sound while pumping audio directly into the most delicate sensory structure in your body. And the human ear was never designed for any of it. Those cells have a name. They're called hair cells, and your ear contains roughly 16,000 of them. These microscopic structures convert sound vibrations into electrical signals your brain can interpret. They are the only reason you can hear anything at all. The safe exposure limit is 85 decibels. At that level, you can listen for about 8 hours before risking damage. But every 3 decibels above that threshold cuts your safe listening time in half. At 88 decibels, 4 hours. At 91 decibels, 2 hours. At 100 decibels, 15 minutes. And most phones and tablets push even further, all the way to 110 decibels at maximum volume. At that intensity, damage begins in under 5 minutes. The cruel part is that the jump from 85 to 100 decibels does not sound dramatically louder to your ears. It feels like turning the volume up a few notches. But to the hair cells inside your cochlea, it is the difference between 8 hours of safety and 15 minutes until permanent destruction. The CDC estimates that roughly 1 in 4 American adults between the ages of 20 and 69 already show evidence of noise-induced hearing loss. Among children and teenagers, the picture is just as disturbing. Around 12% of kids aged 6 to 19, approximately 5.2 million children, have permanent noise-induced hearing damage. Audiologists are now documenting measurable hearing loss in patients as young as 9 years old, children showing up with the auditory profiles of adults in their 50s and 60s. The damage is identical. The only difference is the patient is still in elementary school. And this is where things take a turn most people don't expect, because the hair cells that earphones destroy don't always die quietly. Sometimes they misfire. And when they do, you hear a sound that isn't there, a ringing, a buzzing, a high-pitched whine that follows you everywhere you go. It's called tinnitus, and there is no cure. 1 in 5 high schoolers in one study already had it. Permanent ringing in their ears before they're old enough to vote. In that same study, it was discovered that only 5% of young listeners bother with any kind of hearing protection. People with severe tinnitus describe it as a fire alarm that never shuts off. It's loudest in total silence, which means bedtime becomes the worst part of every day. Complete quiet, something most people take for granted, becomes something sufferers dread. In one clinical study of 91 veterans living with tinnitus, 79% had developed anxiety and 59% experienced depression. A nationwide Danish study found a dose-response relationship between tinnitus and suicide risk. Those with more frequent hospital visits for tinnitus had higher rates. A pair of earbuds you bought for $30 could saddle you with a sound inside your head that follows you into every quiet room, every conversation, every attempt at sleep, forever. And no doctor on the planet can turn it off. Tinnitus and hearing loss are devastating enough on their own, but they affect the ears. What researchers uncovered next affects something far more critical. In 2020, the Lancet Commission on Dementia published a finding that shifted the entire conversation. Out of every risk factor for dementia that humans can actually modify, hearing loss ranked number 1. Not smoking, not obesity, not physical inactivity, hearing loss. It accounts for roughly 8% of all dementia cases worldwide, more than any other single controllable factor. The Commission reaffirmed hearing loss as the number 1 modifiable risk factor in 2024. The leading theory is sensory deprivation. When the ears stop delivering a full signal to the brain begins to physically atrophy, specifically the frontotemporal regions responsible for memory, language, and processing. Your brain, starved of the auditory input it was built to receive, starts to shrink. Most people have never heard about this part, and almost nobody is connecting it to the teenager wearing noise-canceling earbuds 14 hours a day. But this isn't just a slow-burning medical crisis that unfolds over decades. Earphones are killing people right now. A University of Maryland study tracked headphone-related pedestrian accidents between 2004 and 2011 and found they had tripled over that period. Of the 116 cases examined, 70% were fatal. The majority of victims were male, under 30. More than half the deaths involved trains. In October 2017, Luke Jansen, 22 years old, was waiting at a light rail crossing. One train passed. He stepped forward onto the tracks, directly into the path of a second train coming from the opposite direction. The operator sounded the horn several times and tried to slow down. It was too late. Investigators concluded Jansen did not hear the train because he was wearing earbuds. In 2014, an unnamed 24-year-old was crossing railroad tracks in San Diego wearing headphones and holding a handheld device when an Amtrak train struck him. The impact threw his body 50 to 60 feet. A witness at the scene, an Iraq War veteran, told reporters it was the worst thing he had ever seen. In December 2023, 15-year-old Chris Asari Boudou was walking near railroad tracks in Hanover County, Virginia, with earbuds in both ears, looking down at his phone. A CSX freight train approached. The engineer told investigators that he never looked up, not even in the final moments before impact. Every one of these people was young, healthy, going about a completely ordinary day, and every one of them would almost certainly be alive if they had simply taken their earphones out. In case after case, the pattern is identical. A young, healthy person wearing earphones in a high-risk environment, warning signals blaring, total sensory isolation from the one sense that could have saved them. If any of this is news to you, hit subscribe. Every week, this channel covers the ordinary things that are quietly more dangerous than you would ever guess. And there's still one more thing your earphones are doing that nobody warns you about. Wearing earbuds for just 1 hour significantly increases the bacteria inside your ear canal. Your ears have a natural self-cleaning system that gradually pushes wax outward, but earbuds physically block that migration and compress wax deeper with every use. Over time, this leads to impaction, infection, and pain. Around 12 million Americans visit a doctor for earwax problems every year, leading to roughly 8 million removal procedures. A device designed to sit inside one of the most sensitive canals in your body, worn for hours at a time, in conditions that are warm, dark, and airless. So earphones can deafen you, drive you toward despair, accelerate cognitive decline, get you killed crossing the tracks, and quietly breed infection inside your ear canal. And you put them back in this morning without a second thought. The World Health Organization launched its Make Listening Safe initiative years ago. The research has been published. The data is not ambiguous. And yet global earphone usage keeps climbing, average listening volumes keep rising, and the age of first exposure keeps dropping. Your earphones came with a warranty card and a quick start guide. They did not come with a warning label. No packaging mentions hair cell death, tinnitus, or cognitive decline. The World Health Organization published the science. The manufacturers publish the marketing. The real question is not whether earphones are dangerous. That was answered a long time ago. The real question is why almost nobody is treating them like they are.